Welcome to gentle yoga, and we'll start with palms down for grounding. Um, we don't always have to start with palms down for grounding, but it's a nice way to enter the practice, just kind of finding our place on the earth. And so settle in through the sit bones, reach the crown of the head toward the ceiling. We'll take a few moments to exhaust all the senses and set our intention. So begin by closing the eyes, closing the mouth, and breathing through the nose only. Listening as far as your ears can hear and in all directions, searching for sounds that are outside the home or building that you're in, being the witness to each sound, and then letting that sound go and moving to the next sound. Stay with that, bringing your awareness in closer and closer until eventually you arrive at the sound of your own breath. Notice the difference between the inhalation and the exhalation. And then bring an awareness to the temperature of the air on your skin, the places where your clothing contacts your skin, the contact points between your body and the earth. That may be the floor and the mat, or the cushion that you're sitting on, contact points between your palms and your thighs. Notice if there are any smells in your space and experience them. And then bring your awareness to Chitakasha, the space behind the closed eyes. And in that space, consider what you would like to bring to the mat today. And then find a word or a few words to describe that quality that you are bringing to the mat. And repeat it to yourself mentally 3 times. Visualize this intention as a seed that you have just planted in both mind and body, and which the practice will nourish at a cellular level. Take one more full deep breath here. And then take a moment to shift your seated position. So if you are in Sukhasana, bring the leg that is farther away in closer and vice versa. Resettle down through the sit bones. If you're sitting with straight legs out or in a chair, just give your body a little shuffle around and then reposition yourself. Finding that nice tall spine by maybe pressing the palms into the thighs a little bit and reaching the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. Feel free to keep the eyes closed or open them, and maybe returning to those closed eyes at any opportunity that would feel appropriate in the practice, a place where you need to just go a little inward and really bring awareness to the breath and how that's connecting to movement in the body. Bring your awareness to the breath now and simply follow the inhalation and the exhalation. When you come to the next inhale, reach the rib cage forward a little bit. And then exhale and just gently release back to a neutral tall spine. Inhale, reach that rib cage forward a little bit more. And then return to that original seated position. Let's do that 3 more times. Every time moving a little bit more forward in space. And you may find that you need to use your hands for more support as that happens. 2 more times. One more time. And you find that nice tall neutral spine. Release the fingertips or the palms down to the mat on beside your hips. Press in and drag a little bit away to find that nice tall spine. And then firmly press the left hand down, maybe moving to the palms if you're on the fingertips. Inhale the right arm straight up in the air and reach to the ceiling. Exhale to slowly move into a side bend, using that left hand to press into the earth and deepen that side bend. Inhale, reach way up to the ceiling again. Exhale to release that palm, or if you want to, fingertips down to the mat. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, left arm straight up, reach to the ceiling. So you're really stretching through that side body as well. And then exhale, move into the side bend, more stretch through that side body, actively pushing the right hand into the mat. Reach out through the fingertips. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, release down. Let's do that one more time each side. Inhale, right arm up, reach. Exhale, move into the side bend. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release down. And again, reaching up. Exhale into the side bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale into the side bend. Let's bring a little bit of twisting into that torso. So take that right hand all the way over to that left thigh. Gently pull yourself into the twist. Hand can come behind the low back or move to the floor, so that kind of in line with the tailbone. Stay here for an extra breath, cycle. And then inhale to unwind, coming back to center. And let's do the same thing to the other side. So left hand over to that right thigh, right hand behind low back or on the floor behind the tailbone, gently pulling yourself into that twist. Take a full deep breath here. And then come all the way back to center. Let's move the legs again, this time bringing the soles of the feet together. Hands can be on the shins or hands can be to the inner thighs, whatever your preference. Try to pull the heels in a little bit closer than you think you can and resettle the sit bones down. Use your forearms to press open the inner thighs or use your hands. Take a moment to press the base of both big toes into each other and pull the rest of the toes away. So you just got the big toes pressed together and the other toes are pulling away. And then release that. All the other toes come together, just the big toes pull away from each other. And then release. Beautiful. Again, visualize pressing open those inner thighs away from each other. And now moving that rib cage forward and back again. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale, return. Let's do the same thing as we did when we were in that Sukhasana. So inhale, reach forward. Exhale, return. And again. 2 more times. As you reach the ribcage forward, you could use your hands or forearms to press open the inner thighs even more. 1 more time. Coming to that neutral position. Slide the feet with the soles still touching a little bit farther away from the body. Take your blocks, stack them 2 on top of each other, 1 on top of each other in their highest height. And then if possible, take a nice inhale to lift up through the spine, exhale to pull the navel to the spine and fold for the head to release on those blocks. If for any reason your forehead is not reaching those blocks, you could pull over a cushion or blanket or something to make it a little more accessible to you. If you happen to have a large bolster somewhere, you can also use that large bolster and just fold forward onto that. Also, if it's more comfortable in your body or knees, especially to extend the legs out to do this fold, that is also fantastic. The reason to try and find support in the head is so that the muscles in the back can release. Take a full deep breath here. And then bring yourself all the way up. Beautiful. And move those blocks out of the way, maybe moving them up at the top of your mat if you might be sitting at the top of your mat. So just, you might be there already. And bring the knees together and then give yourself a hug around the shins and lift up through that spine really tall. Exhale, turn the whole of your head to the right. Stay there for a full deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And then on that next inhale, bring the head back to center. Exhale, turn the whole of the head to the left. Stay there for a full deep breath. And then inhale, come all the way back to center. Beautiful. Change the positioning of the arms. Still hug in, nice and tall. Inhale to lift your face toward the ceiling. Exhale to release back to neutral. Let's do that 2 more times. So little dynamic movement through the cervical spine. And 1 more time. Nice. Now let's release the hands down to the mat and bring yourself forward to a low crouching position. You might be at the top of your mat. That's probably a good place to be. Put your hands on the mat underneath the shoulders and take the feet wide and then settle down into a malasana from here. Usually we go into malasana from a standing position, but let's just experiment with taking it from this lower to the ground position. Feel free to move the feet farther away from each other. Keep the hands on the mat or on the floor for a moment. You could also have your hands on the block if that would be easier for you to be a little bit higher. You can also have the option to bring the hand to the heart center and use the forearms to press open the inner thighs. Just take 3 breaths here and wherever variation of this that you arrive in. Maybe close the eyes, reach the rib cage forward, find ease in the hips and allow them to release down to the ground or toward the ground. 1 more full deep breath. And then release the hands to the floor or to the block and press yourself up, walk the feet in and come all the way up. You could use your hands on your thighs to make it up there and release the arms down, find Tadasana. I'm going to make my way up to the top of the mat. Hopefully I'm joining you there. In this Tadasana position, roll the shoulders back, palms of the hands facing forward, so the thumbs are pointing away from the body. Take a moment to close the eyes again and just move around on your feet. And then settle into stillness on the feet. Bring an awareness to the contact points at the heels, at the base of the big toes, at the base of the baby toes, and then lift all 10 toes, spread them really wide. Lower all of the toes except for the big toes, and then release the big toes. Beautiful. Again, inhale, lift all 10 toes, spread them wide. This time, keep all the toes lifted except release the big toes down. And then the rest of the toes follow. Beautiful. Shift around again. And then again, awareness to both heels, awareness to the base of the big toes, awareness to the base of the baby toes. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead, shoulder width apart, and then take the right hand over below the left wrist and just gently pull that arm up and then over into a side bend. Inhale, come up to center. And exhale, release both arms down, returning to that Tadasana position. Again, inhale, arms come up on the side. And this time, left hand reaching below the right wrist and gently pulling over to the left, stretching out the right side of the body. Actually actively pulling on that arm to deepen that stretch. And then inhale up to center and exhale, circle those arms back down, palms facing forward. Inhale, turn the palms away from the body so that the thumb is pointing back to the space behind you. And then exhale, return back to starting position. Let's do that 2 more times. So inhale, open, open, open through the shoulders, thumbs pointing back in the space behind you. And then release to Tadasana. And 1 more time. And release. Beautiful. Inhale, circle arms up overhead. Bring the palms together this time. Exhale, bring the hands down to the heart center. Inhale, lift all 10 toes up, and then to keep the toes lifted, exhale as you bend the knees and the hips to sit back into a chair pose. Inhale, keeping the toes lifted, come all the way up to standing again. Exhale, sitting down into chair pose. And one more time. Staying seated in that chair pose, release the toes down. Ensure that you're still feeling the body weight over the feet. Release the left arm down to those thighs, so forearm on those thighs, and then pull with that left hand at the outside of the right thigh into a twist. Inhale to unwind a little bit, and then exhale to pull into the twist again. Inhale to unwind a little bit, exhale, pull into the twist. Inhale, come all the way back to center, bring the hands to the heart center, and then release, come all the way up, and bring the arms down by the side. Reach the fingertips toward the earth, reach the crown of the head toward the sky. Take a full deep breath there. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead, palms touch. Gaze at those palms if that would feel good. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. Take another inhale, lift all 10 toes up, spread them wide. Exhale, bend the knees, lower down into that chair pose. Release the toes down. Just see if you can find a little ease. Send the tailbone out behind you. Reach the breastbone toward the thumbs ahead of you. This time, release the right forearm down to the thighs. Use your fingers of the right hand to pull on the outside edge of that left thigh, bringing your body into a twist. Inhale to unwind a little bit. Notice that the lower body stays perfectly steady as you do this work. Exhale to pull yourself into the twist. Nice, let's do that again. Inhale to release a little bit. Exhale to pull yourself into that twist. Beautiful. Inhale, unwind, bring the hand back to the heart center. Exhale, come all the way up and release the arms down, palms facing forward. Reach the fingertips toward the earth. Reach the crown of the head toward the sky. Inhale, circle arms all the way up overhead. Gaze at those palms coming together. Exhale, pull the navel to the spine. Imagine the feet dragging away from each other. Slowly fold over the body. Separate the hands, bring the palms to the thighs. Inhale, find cow in the upper body. Relax through the shoulders as you do this. And then exhale, fold over those legs and use your blocks here, maybe the highest height. Bring your hands to rest on those blocks and let the head release down. Stay here for a full deep breath. Just settle into this forward fold. If for any reason this just does not feel great in the low back, feel free to bring the hands up to the thighs and find a upside down L. Whether you're in that body parallel to the ground or more in the forward fold, inhale to straighten out the legs a little bit and exhale, navel to spine to go more into the fold. If you're staying in that upside down L shape, as you exhale, just imagine that the shoulders are plugging in and the crown of the head is reaching to the space ahead of you. Let's do that again. Deep inhale, straighten out through the legs. Exhale, navel to spine, forward fold. If you are in this forward fold, inhale to the half lift position. Meet up with people who might already be there. And then inhale, step way back with your right leg into a lunge, but with the knee lifted off the mat. Maybe walk the blocks back so that they're actually underneath your shoulders and reach the rib cage forward. Push the heel back into space. And then once you've landed here, take a moment to just check in if it's quite easy to bring the toes up on that left foot. And that usually indicates that the ankle is in line underneath the heel. Reach the rib cage forward. Toes release back down if you did lift them up. Beautiful. Stay here for another couple of breaths. And now let's tap into our strength here. So from this low lunge, imagine that your feet are dragging toward each other on a diagonal and that you are braced through the abdominals. Inhale, bring the body up to a nice high lunge with the arms shoulder width distance apart, palms facing each other. And then release the arms down to cactus pose. Shoulders are still relaxed. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, bring those arms together. Inhale to open. Exhale together. Inhale to open, really strong on the legs, still like your feet are dragging toward each other on that diagonal. Inhale to open, and then exhale to release the hands back down to the block. Reach the rib cage forward, push through that heel into the space behind you. And then exhale to step that back foot in underneath the hip. Return to that half lift position, crown of the head reaching to the space ahead of you. Inhale, step way back with your left foot this time. Keeping the knee lifted, pushing the heel into the space behind you, reaching the rib cage forward, and checking in that it's very easy for you to lift the toes of that right foot, which usually means that that knee is lined up over the ankle. So take time to set up with that. If your foot is way back here, it can be really hard on the knee. And also doesn't necessarily allow us to get that rib cage opening forward and shoulders relaxed. Beautiful. So stay here. Feel really grounded in both feet. Imagine that both feet are dragging toward each other on a diagonal. You'll feel a contraction through that chain of muscles there. And then also brace through the abdominals. Inhale, bring the arms up. High lunge. Beautiful. Now lower the arms to that cactus pose. Take a nice inhale here. Exhale, bring the arms together. Inhale to open. Exhale together. Inhale to open. One more time. Inhale to open. Exhale, release the hands back down to the blocks. Reach the rib cage forward. Push the heel back. Take your time. Find that nice long line to stretch out through the front of that left hip. And then when the next exhale arrives, step that foot and come to that half lift. Your hands could be at the blocks or they could be at the thighs. Crown of the head reaching forward. Feel a little stretch through the backs of the legs. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale to fold over the legs. Bend the knees as much as you need to and bring the hands down to the mat. Lift the heels up and reach the rib cage forward. And then from here, make your way into a seated position. Nice. Legs can extend out in front of you. I'll be turning to face you and the camera there. So legs are straight out now. Take a moment to just walk through the feet and check in that the base of both big toes, take a moment to press toward the mat or floor and then release. Now let's use the hands to really find that nice long spine. So like we did when we were sitting cross-legged, fingertips or palms beside your hips on the mat. And feel free also to go back to using a cushion if that would feel more comfortable in your low back. Press into the mat, drag away, finding Dandasana, staff pose. Stay here for a moment, maybe close the eyes and just check in. This is, some people will call this a home pose because it's kind of a neutralizing pose, but it's an extremely active pose. So by closing the eyes, maybe sensing where your body is working to keep this nice tall spine. Brace through the abdominals. Release the arms. Bring them forward. Spread the fingers and pull them back. Stay with that for one full breath. Nice. And then release those hands down. Bend the left leg, hug it in, and then open that leg to the side, bringing that sole of that foot into the inner thigh. Again, you may want to do this sitting elevated. Feel free to go there. Take the time to do that. Base of that right big toe is pressing down toward the floor. Keep the left hand on that shin and bring the right hand over to the thigh. Pull on that shin and reach the rib cage forward, and then release. As you bring the rib cage forward, notice if you're feeling anything in the hamstring. It's a nice way to dynamically stretch that muscle. So inhaling, reaching forward, exhale, return to neutral. So this is kind of our theme movement in this practice today. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, coming up. And again. And then release. Nice. Let's bring that knee up. Interlace the fingers, bring that foot up and over or leave it exactly where it is as we move into Ardha Matsyendrasana, a nice twisting pose. Take that left hand behind you in line with the tailbone, palm or fingertips. Inhale that arm straight up in the air. Exhale to bend the elbow and cross over or hug the knee, whichever your preference. And then once you're there, inhale to lift up through the spine and exhale to bring yourself into a twist. So we are trying to bring that energy of Manipura chakra into the practice, that solar energy, working through the twisting. We did it from Uttanasana, and we are doing it again from this seated position. Stay with the breathing, stay with the twisting. Take one more full deep breath. And then inhale to unwind, bring yourself back to center. Take the left hand around to that shin and maybe just do an easy twist in the opposite direction. Come back to center, interlace the fingers again. And as you do that, hug in to find that nice tall spine. Lift that foot up and over if you did in fact cross it over. And then straighten out that lug again. And let's find our Dandasana again. So you might feel good to wiggle out. Palms beside you on the mat, beside the hips, press in and drag away to find that nice tall spine. Crown of the head reaching up, taking a moment to close the eyes. Take 2 full deep breaths here. Breathing through the nose only if that's possible. And then bringing an awareness to the torso, keeping nice and strong in there. Release the energy of the arms, bring them forward, parallel to the floor, fingers spread wide, pull the hands back. Maybe take a moment to just give those hands a little bit of an extra stretch, still staying strong through the torso. And then release the arms down. This time bending the left leg, maybe hugging in a little bit, and then move it out to the side. Place the hands at the shin, sole of the foot into that opposite inner thigh, base of that left big toe still pressing down toward the mat, so you're in a neutral foot. And then keep that right hand on the shin, left hand to the thigh. Use that right hand to really pull the spine up nice and tall, still keeping the base of the toe pressing toward the mat. So I notice in my own body, it wants to kind of fall away to the side because hips like external rotation. Try to keep the base of the big toe pressing forward. Let's go for that theme movement today. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale to neutral. This is a subtle move. So just reach the rib cage forward until you feel that little stretch happening in the hamstring group. And then coming back to neutral. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, return to neutral. Beautiful. Stay here. Bring that knee all the way up again. Interlace fingers the awkward way, the way that doesn't come quite as naturally, and hug the spine nice and tall. Option to keep the foot right here for this twist, or to bring it up and over the opposite leg. This moving the leg in just gives you a little more twist and a little more stretch through the IT band. So it's really optional. Right hand comes behind the back now in line with the tailbone. Palm can be down or fingertips. Inhale that left arm straight up. And then exhale to bend and cross over that thigh, or to hug the thigh or the shin, whatever your preference. Yeah, stay here. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale, bring your body into the twist. Stay with that movement of inhaling to lift, exhaling to twist. Check in that your foot that's of the leg that's straight out is still in neutral, and just stay with the breath. If you'd like to, bring an awareness to the spine behind the navel and tap into that solar energy, that sense of personal power and agency. One more full deep breath. And then inhale to unwind. Let's do a little twist to the other side so that right arm can come around and the left hand can go back to just bring yourself into a little easy twist the other way. Inhale to unwind, interlace fingers the awkward way, hug in tall, and then lift that foot up and over. Beautiful. Bend both knees now. Make your way onto your back. You can do that by rolling to the side or by just walking your hands back to your forearms. Whatever way is feeling good in your body today. Make your way all the way down onto your back. Walk the shoulders away. Feet are in line underneath the hips. Let's connect that energy at Manipura chakra of the twisting to the heart opening energy at Anahata chakra. Push the feet into the mat and lift the hips up in a little bridge. And then exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Turn the palms so they're facing the ceiling and push the whole of the arms into the mat to see if you can get just a little bit higher in that twist. Or sorry, in that lift. And then lower down. Bring the arms to cactus pose, opening up through that chest even more. And then do an easy windshield wiper movement through the legs. Bring the knees back to center. Bring the arms down again. Keep the palms facing the ceiling if that's comfortable for you. Feel for your block or maybe your cushion. Press the feet into the mat and inhale, lift the hips up just a little bit and then lower. Again, press, lifting and lowering. And one more time, stay lifted. Push your heels really firmly into the mat to lift up through the hips. Use your arms to also press. See if you can find a little more lift. Stay with that for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And on that second exhalation, use your cushion or block, slide it underneath that low back. And then as you lower down, let it rest on that cushion or block, whichever happens to be handy or is most comfortable. Once you arrive here, extend the legs straight out. Let the feet fall to the side or keep them pointing straight up, whatever feels most comfortable in your body. Bring an awareness to the arms and check in that the palms are facing the ceiling. This supported bridge pose is a really beautiful way to open up through the hips. So awareness is Svadhisthana chakra. Also open up through the chest area, Anahat chakra. Breathing, relaxing into this supported bridge pose. As you inhale, imagine that the rib cage is expanding. And as you exhale, imagine that you are inviting actually ease through letting out of that air, through muscle relaxation, because the exhale requires no muscle to work. So inviting an ease into the body in that position as you exhale. So a couple more breaths here. Stay with this support underneath the hips. Inhale, reach the arms overhead so the fingertips are reaching to the space behind you there, beyond the crown of the head. Reach, reach, reach. Feel that nice stretch through the shoulders. Let them kind of lift up as you need to. And then bend the elbows and release the arms down to cactus pose. So now we're really inviting extra back extension into the spine, which is such a nice thing to invite into the body because very often in our daily life, our spine is in flexion. And we need to reinforce extension so that we can find ease when we're standing. We can find a nice tall posture. Take a few more breaths here. Fill up with ease on that inhale and then send it to every cell in your body on the exhale. Very slowly bending the knees one at a time, maybe to bring the soles of the feet one at a time to the mat. Extend through the elbows and then slide those straight arms right down by the side of the body. Little separation between the body and the arms. Push the feet into the mat and lift the hip up or hips up, and then slide whatever is underneath there that was supporting you out of the way. And as you release the pelvis back down, as you release that tailbone back down, mindful that you have that nice lumbar curve in the spine. So the low back actually stays slightly separated from the mat. And then bring the arms up now to a T position with the palms facing up and do an easy movement side to side with the legs, windshield wiper movement with those legs. Finding stillness in the legs. Walk the feet and the knees together. Cross the right leg over the left leg in such a way that the back of the right thigh is touching the front of the left thigh or some approximation of that. Take a nice inhale right here and then exhale to lower those legs in that cross position to the left. And it may be that you want to find a block or use the cushion or whatever was underneath your hips to place it underneath the left thigh so that you actually come to a place of rest there in that twist. Arms are still out to the sides in that T position. And once you've found a place of rest in that twist, just allow yourself to settle into that. Feel that nice twist in the body. In a really kind of physiological, conventional sense or anatomical, conventional sense, this twisting is really nice to do after the deep supported back bend of bridge with extended legs. And in the yogic sense of chakra energy, doing this twist after that heart opening is a way to create an energetic bridge between Manipura chakra and Anahata chakra. So to bring a sense of strength to a sense of compassion, and then to bring a sense of compassion to your sense of strength. Inhale, come all the way back up to center. You've got lots of time, take it. Uncross that right leg. Maybe do a little shimmy around in the body so that you feel like you have a neutral position. And then crossing that left leg over the right. Just settle into that. And then again, follow the breath. Inhale just where you are in place. Exhale to lower the legs to the right and maybe shift that cushion or block underneath the right outside thigh now to support that twist. So just take a moment to play around with that and then return the arms to that T position. And take a moment to really just settle into ease here. So that block or cushion is supporting you. That right bent knee is adding to the twist by kind of using its weight onto the left calf. Inhale, ease. Exhale, sending that ease to every cell in the body. Visualizing an energetic bridge between Manipura chakra and Anahata chakra, between the place at the spine behind the navel and the place at the spine behind the center of the chest. Stepping into your power with a sense of compassion. One more full deep breath here. And then slowly bringing those cross legs back up to center. You might need to kind of shimmy that right foot back toward the midline of your mat. And then uncross those legs. Take the feet hip width. Bring the arms down alongside the body, palms facing up.
Take a moment to walk the shoulders down and away from the ears, and at the same time to reach the crown of the head to the space behind you. The arms slightly separated from the body and the palms facing up. Press the feet into the mat again and just lift those hips up an inch or two. And then find ease. Release the hips back down, maintaining that lordotic curve, that low back curve in the spine. And then if you're ready, extending both legs straight out, feel free to use a cushion to place it underneath the backs of the thighs if you like that extra support in the legs. Let the feet fall away from the midline. And find that we are all in Shavasana now. As you arrive in this Shavasana pose, take a moment to really check in and see if you have found your most comfortable Shavasana. It's possible that you need to wiggle around to really settle in, to find ease, and to find stillness. And once you have found that stillness in the body and that ease in Shavasana, bring an awareness to the thin plane of contact between your body and the floor. Neither body nor floor, but that thin plane of contact between the two. Bring an awareness to any movement in the body that's happening because of air moving in and out. Follow that movement. The movement as you inhale, the movement as you exhale. The air element is associated with the energy at Anahat chakra, at the spine, behind the center of the chest. That energetic center of love, compassion, forgiveness, balance, ease. Now bring an awareness to Chitakasha, the space behind the closed eyes. And bring your witnessing eye to that space. The detached witness, noticing if there are any colors or patterns, symbols, possibly images. Be the witnessing eye to those manifestations. And now return to the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. Repeat it to yourself mentally 3 times. Trust that if you can visualize it, you have started creating it. Awareness back to the breath now, deepening it. Take a deep inhale, expanding as much as you can. And then exhale slowly, maybe opening the mouth, maybe inviting an audible sigh into that exhale. Bring an awareness to the body, wiggling fingers, toes, feet, and hands. Linking breath to movement by taking a deep inhale as you stretch everything out. Exhale to bend the knees and roll to one side. Take a full deep breath there, letting your head rest on the arm.
Press yourself to seated when you're ready. And when you arrive in that seated position, let the hands rest with the palms up. Maybe take a moment to close the eyes and visualize an abundance of compassion and ease pouring into your open palms and spreading to every cell in your body. And bring those hands together at the heart center in Anjali Mudra and bowing inward. Namaste. Thank you for bringing such lovely energy to this gentle yoga, gentle hatha practice today. I'm checking in with the goddesses here. Max is also very interested in what the goddesses have to say, apparently. Damara, guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. And another reading is your inner child.